Are you planning a trip to Porto but don't know where to stay? I'm breaking down the best neighbourhoods in Porto for you to stay on your visit. Stick around and discover hidden gems, locals' favourites, and insider tips you do not want to miss. And watch to the end and I'll tell you my favourite area to stay in Porto. So grab yourself a coffee and let's dive in. Ribeira is Porto's riverside district known for its colourful buildings, scenic Douro river views and lively atmosphere, and its easy proximity to top attractions. Reasons why you should stay in Ribeira. It's got amazing views and atmosphere. The area is full of picturesque streets, medieval architecture and lively cafes. You are literally within tripping distance of the major attractions in Porto. The main one being, of course, the iconic Dom Luís I Bridge, but also the Palacio de Bolsa. The river tours are literally on your doorstep, the Church of São Francisco de Porto, and many, many more. With all that in mind, there are some things that you need to consider. Ribeira is a hotspot, meaning higher prices and lots of crowds, so expect some of the restaurants and coffee shops to be tourist traps and definitely overpriced. Be prepared for steep climbs if you explore beyond the riverfront, especially when going into São Bento train station or Lelo bookstore. Porto was built around two hills, and when you're at the riverfront, the only way is up, unfortunately. There's also next to no parking, so if you're planning to bring a car, then this area is definitely not for you. You can explore Porto easily on foot, by tram, or take a boat along the Douro River when staying in Ribeira. The nearest metro station is São Bento. You can catch the tram number 1 outside the Church of San Francisco. The tram ends at Foz and a single ride costs €3 and a return is €6. They depart every 20 minutes between 9 AM and 8 PM. The best hotels in Ribeira are the Pestana Vintage Porto, which is a historic 5-star hotel, the 1872 River House, which is a boutique hotel with river views, Descobertas Boutique Hotel, which is mid-range but still stylish, or you can grab an Airbnb. The price range is from €100 per night to €280 per night. As you can imagine, prices are very high as this area is in high demand by tourists. Also, our recommendations for the best restaurants in this area are on screen now. Baixa and Sei are both another tourist hotspot to stay in Porto. This area is lively, historic and well connected, making it perfect for first-time visitors that want to be in the heart of the city. It's close to major attractions, shopping streets and Porto's crazy nightlife. Why you should stay in Baixa. Central location and walkability. This area is Porto's downtown area, meaning you are literally close to everything. Great dining and great nightlife. This area is packed with restaurants, cafes, and for the night owls, bars. Or the bars around Rue Galeria de Paris. But be warned, at night this area gets very, very loud and large. So ideally you're going to want to find accommodation away from these streets. Affordable and stylish hotels. Compared to Ribeira, Baixa has a lot more options where it comes to hotels and their affordability. You have the Le Monumental Palace, which is luxury 5-star, the Posada de Porto on Rua das Flores, which is a boutique historic hotel, Porto Bay Teatro, which is modern, stylish and mid-range, the Passenger Hostel, which is a great budget option inside the São Bento station. But there are some certain things that you need to consider when staying in this area. Number 1, it can be very, very, very noisy. There's 3 reasons why this area is going to be very noisy. Number 1, they are building a new metro line. The new metro line has caused a lot of disruption for the city for a number of years now. The work is very noisy, but one silver lining is that they mostly work on Monday to Friday. Number 2, there is a lot of apartment and building renovation, meaning more construction noise. Number 3, since it's the city centre, expect street noise, especially at night and especially around gallerias. Hilly streets. Porto is famous for its steep streets, so be ready to walk up hills, especially in this area. It's not as scenic as Ribeira. Baixa is stunning, but it lacks Ribeira's waterfront charm. Limited parking again. If renting a car, parking is almost impossible, so don't do it. You can explore this area easily on foot, by bus or metro, or you can even take the train to other areas of Portugal for a day trip. The nearest metro station is the São Bento. The train station is also São Bento, giving you access to the rest of Portugal, as I just said. You have loads of bus lines taking you to other parts of Porto. So in conclusion, this area is ideal to have access to the major tourist attractions, busy shopping streets and restaurant and cafes. Our best recommendations for restaurants are on screen now. Staying in Bolhão offers visitors an authentic and traditional way to experience the traditional Portuguese way of life. While it's close to the majority of the city's cultural and historic landmarks, it's not right in the heart of the centre. You're just a little bit, a tiny little bit outside. It's still a central location, but it's not as touristy. So you're a short ride or a metro stop away from all the landmarks. Bolhão Market is one of the central highlights of the Bolhão area, hence the name. Who would have guessed? And it's an excellent spot for picking up fresh produce, local delicacies and souvenirs, or just somewhere really trendy to hang out. Staying in Bolhão offers you the opportunity to experience Porto like a local, with access to some of Porto's oldest cafes and shops. It's got a vibrant atmosphere. This area is bustling with life thanks to the market and the main shopping streets like Rua de Santa Catarina and Rua de Formosa. This area is genuine with an everyday Porto charm. As one of the more local and less touristy areas, prices are a little lower. For best hotel options, you have the Hotel Premium Porto Downtown. This is modern and stylish with easy access to the market and the shopping streets. You've got the Artist Porto Hotel and Bistro, a boutique hotel with an artsy vibe, and the Porto Coliseum Hotel. But things you need to consider about staying in Bolhão. It's centrally located and vibrant, but it's also bustling and noisy thanks to the market and the shopping streets. It has less green space. The Bolhão area itself doesn't have any parks or gardens. You're going to have to pop off to other areas to find that. Life in Bolhão is more focused on local life, and it's not really a major tourist hotspot. Hot links, you have the metro station at Bolhão Metro Station, which connects easily to other parts of the city, including BoaVista, Ribeira, Foz, Casa de Música, etc. And you've got lots and lots of bus lines. So things to consider, if you're not looking for a overly tourist area, then Bolhão is a great option because it's a hop, skip and a jump from the centre. And our restaurant recommendations are on screen now. Staying in Miragaia is a great choice if you're looking for a charming but quiet and totally authentic neighbourhood in Porto. Reasons why you should stay in Miragaia. For the scenic and peaceful atmosphere. Unlike the busy Ribeira district, Miragaia is so quiet in comparison. It has beautiful river views. Many accommodations in Miragaia offers beautiful views of the River Douro. It's got a historical charm with a local feel. You can wander and get lost in narrow cobblestone streets, see azulejo-covered houses, and experience the more authentic side of Porto. It's still close to major attractions in Porto. Even though it's quieter, you're still so close to a lot of the major attractions in Porto. The transport links are okay, they're not fantastic, but you are in walkable distance of heading into Ribeira or heading into Miragaia, so you're not that far away from anything, but the main way you're going to get around the city from here is via the number 1 tram or by the buses. There are no metro stops in this area. Things to consider, it's hilly and it has narrow streets. Like much of Porto, Miragaia has steep, cobbled streets that might be challenging for some travellers. There are fewer hotels and more boutique stays. The area doesn't have large hotels, but it offers charming boutique guest houses. It's quieter at night, so if you want a lively atmosphere, Baixa or Ribeira might be better. Certain areas can be a little bit sketchy, especially in the narrow streets, so just be aware of your surroundings. The best places to stay in Miragaia, you have the Toral Avant-Garde, a luxury stylish hotel with spa and panoramic views. Naya Porto Hotel, a waterfront 4-star hotel with a great view of the river. Miragaia Riverside Suites, an adult-only apartment complex. Our restaurant recommendations are on screen now. BoaVista is a great location if you're looking for grand, spacious hotels, as BoaVista is the business area of Porto. Reasons why you should stay in BoaVista. Modern and comfortable. If you prefer a calm and upscale environment, then BoaVista is for you. It's a flat area with no hills, so you don't have to worry about that. It's got luxury hotels and business stays. The area is home to some of Porto's best high-end hotels, often with spa facilities and rooftop bars. Things to consider: you are definitely not in the historic centre, you're quite far away, so if you want to be closer to the highlights of Porto, then BoaVista might not be ideal. It's more business orientated. While there are restaurants and shops, BoaVista lacks the traditional charm of older Porto neighbourhoods. It's quite spread out. Avenida da BoaVista is long, so depending on where you stay, you might need transport to even get to the metro station. Top hotels are the Sheraton, Porto Hotel and Spa, the Crown Plaza Porto and the Bessa Hotel BoaVista. Apart from Casa de Musica and the Mercado Bom Sucesso, there really isn't a lot to do in this area, so it's not on my top list of areas to stay for tourists. If you love staying by the sea but still want to be close-ish to Porto, then Foz is your best option. Foz is Porto's upscale beachside district, known for its beautiful ocean views, peaceful vibes and trendy restaurants. This area is upscale and you will have the beach on your doorstep, also a tranquil park called Jardim de Passeio Alegre, and Foz is home to elegant mansions and Art Nouveau buildings, reflecting Porto's aristocratic past. Reasons why you should stay in Foz: stunning beaches and ocean views. Foz has some of the best beaches in Porto, including Praia de Luz, which is great for sunsets, Praia de Molho, picturesque with a wooden boardwalk, of course Praia de Matosinhos, which is fantastic for surfing, or just hanging out because it's a top hangout spot in the summer. Foz is quiet, elegant and residential. It's a favourite among luxury travellers. It's got great restaurants and cafes. Foz has a fantastic food scene, from fresh seafood to trendy brunch spots. Things to consider when staying at Foz: it's a lot further from the historic centre, so if you want to explore Porto's main attractions, you'll need transport. It's about 20 minutes by tram or taxi. It is more expensive. Hotels and restaurants in Foz tend to be more upscale, therefore their prices are elevated too. It's very quiet at night. While there are bars and restaurants, it doesn't really have a nightlife scene, so after kind of 10 o'clock, there isn't really much to do. It's kind of connected to the centre of Porto. Tram number 1 runs along the river, offering a scenic view of your journey into Ribeira. But buses and taxis make getting into Baixa fairly easy, but not always super convenient. So hotel recommendations: we have Vila Foz Hotel and Spa, a 5-star luxury stay, Hotel BoaVista, a 4-star hotel with great views, Casa das Laranjas, a boutique guest house, stylish and cozy, and Habitação Foz, modern beachfront apartment. And in conclusion, I love Foz. I think it's a beautiful area. I love walking around here, and especially during the summer months, it's just a stunning place to enjoy Porto. But if you're looking to hit all the Porto landmarks, then staying in Foz might not be ideal because of the transport issue. It's not on the metro. The tram really isn't transport. I love it, love the area, but might not be ideal if you plan to hit the town of Porto. Vila Nova de Gaia, or just more often called Gaia, is located over the River Douro, away from Porto. The area is famous for its port wine cellars, stunning river views and a more relaxed vibe compared to Porto's historic centre. Reasons why you should stay in Gaia: you have breathtaking views of Porto. Gaia gives you some of the best breathtaking panoramic views of Porto. Head to Jardim de Moro to watch the sunset at this iconic location. It's got all of those port wine cellars. Gaia is home to all the major port cellars in Porto, including Graham's, Taylor's and Sandeman's. You've also got the amazing rooftop bar, Espaço Porto Cruz. If you stay away from the river's edge, it is less touristy. The walk along the river is super touristy, but Gaia itself is quieter and much more laid back. The prices are a lot more affordable than the historic centre. Things to consider: it's not in the centre of Porto, and in fact it's not actually in Porto. It's actually in Vila Nova de Gaia, which is a separate part of Portugal, but that's another video. You'll need to walk across the Dom Luís I bridge or take the metro yellow line to get into Porto's downtown, which is about 5 to 10 minutes. There are fewer nightlife options. While there are bars and wine lodges, Gaia is quieter at night compared to central Porto. Hilly terrain. Some areas of Gaia, especially near the river and the wine cellars, have steep hills, so be ready for some uphill walks and to work those thighs. Best places to stay. You've got the Yeatman if you're rich. It's a luxury 5-star wine-themed hotel. The Vizinci Ponte de Ferro, which is a modern 4-star hostel right next to the bridge. You've got the Calway Hotel, boutique, stylish, and the House of Sandeman Hostel and Suites, unique wine-themed hotel/hostel. Gaia has good transport links. You've got the Metro de Porto, the Yellow Line, D Line, which connects Gaia to Porto via Jardim de Moro. You have the train line, which as a tourist you probably won't use unless you're going to Lisbon, Aveiro, or Braga. Loads of buses run through Gaia into Porto. You've also got the Gaia cable car. It's great to avoid the hills, but not actually going to get you very far. I do like Gaia. I think it's a lovely area. The area by the river is well touristy, but it's still lovely and not too overcrowded, even in the summertime. So it's probably an 8 out of 10 for me. And my recommendations for restaurants are on screen now. Staying in Bonfim is fantastic because it's an authentic up-and-coming neighbourhood with a mix of local charm, hipster vibes and authenticity. Located just east of the city centre, Bonfim is becoming one of Porto's coolest districts, attracting artists, food lovers and budget-conscious travellers who want to stay outside of the heavily tourist areas. Reasons why you should stay in Bonfim. For the local and authentic feel. Bonfim isn't touristy in the slightest. That gives you the chance to have a true Porto experience. Bonfim is a hipster hotspot, filled with cool cafes, art spaces and boutique hotels. Accommodation in Bonfim is considerably cheaper than other areas of Porto. It's got a great food and coffee scene. Some of Porto's best new cafes and restaurants are located in Bonfim. The whole area is very flat, so if you want to stay away from hills, this is a great choice. It's still walkable and well connected. It's a 15 to 20 minute walk into Baixa, or you can use the Campo de 24th Augusto metro station. Things to consider. It's not as touristy, which I just said, but that can be a pro or a con. So if you love a quiet local vibe, it's perfect. But if you prefer staying in the action, then Baixa or Ribeira might be better. There are fewer landmarks. You will need to walk or take a short metro line to reach Porto's biggest attractions. It's still developing. Some streets feel modern and trendy, while others remain more traditional and residential and a little sketchy in some places, unfortunately. If you don't like people having fun at night, then you need to avoid Praça dos Provoeiros due to the nightlife that can cause noise pollution. It does have good transport links because it is on the metro line, Line D, the Yellow Line. You can catch that at Campo 24 de Augusto. You can also easily walk to Campania station. It has loads of buses that can get you into town, so that's super easy. And it even has night buses, like the 1M. Street parking can be limited and is paid in many areas of Bonfim, especially near the metro station. In conclusion, I do like Bonfim. It's trendy, it's cool, and it's affordable. But it's still not my favourite area. So 8 out of 10 for me. Cedofeita is my favourite area to stay in Porto. Cedofeita is a neighbourhood with a trendy, artsy, local vibe, but you're still a hop, skip and a jump from the city centre. Why you should stay in Cedofeita? For the trendy and artsy atmosphere. Cedofeita is home to Rua Miguel Bombada, which is Porto's art district with contemporary galleries and street arts. And during the summertime, this street is buzzing with atmosphere. It's less toury and a much more local feel. Whilst Ribeira and Baixa are packed full of tourists, you will find this area to be much more tranquil and you will actually spot someone from Porto, which these days is unusual when you're in the city centre of a Portuguese capital. Cedofeita is calm, relaxed and chilled, with plenty of local cafes and boutique stores. You're still within walking distance of all the major attractions in Porto. It's great for foodies and great for nightlife. Cedofeita has great bars, craft beer spots and trendy restaurants, without the heavy crowds of Baixa. This area has much more affordable and spacious hotels. Compared to the other areas, this area is so much more value for money. Things to consider. There's less historical charm, while there are very pretty old buildings. Cedofeita has a more modern bohemian feel. Some of the streets are hilly. It is Porto after all. It's a little bit quieter at night, and I say a little bit. While there are bars and restaurants, it's not as lively as Baixa or Ribeira late at night, but you need to avoid Travessa Cedofeita. Transport link, closest net metro station is Lapa Station, that's line D, the yellow line, and it's about a 10-minute walk. You've got popular bus routes like line 200 linking Bolhão, the 201 to Aliados, and the 507 to Matosinhos. Parking can be tricky again due to narrow streets, however there are a few paid parking lots nearby. The best hotels are the One Shot Palacio, a luxury boutique hotel, chic and stylish, Casa de Conto di Tipografia, modern design and artsy vibe, Casa Antiga, luxury with stunning river views, and Selina Porto, which is great for digital nomads and budget travellers. So overall, this area is my favourite. Just a little vibe about this area that I really like. You've got shopping streets, you've got the bar streets, but if you just go 1 or 2 streets down, then it's pretty much chilled. So you have the best of all worlds, really. You can walk very quickly to all the major landmarks in central Porto, and it's just artsy, and I like artsy. It's artsy and bohemian, which is my favourite thing. So I definitely recommend staying in this area. And my favourite restaurants are on screen now.